Here we have the code for my General Pareto distribution extreme value theory quick check, which I use as a shiny dashboard. Now I'm just putting this here quickly out of interest for people who want to see the code, which probably isn't many people. The market's been having a bit of a muck around, so I'm going to trot out my dashboard again and have a look. But in the meantime, I'll just show people the code behind it because they may be interested. Let's see here. Okay. I don't generally do the histogram of daily returns, but it's QQQ the data. We're down, uses library eVia from Alex Stevenson, library QuantMod from Orith Roth, and Jeffrey. I can't remember, but it's a famous interface between Yahoo and Fred and all the NASDAQ and all the data sources, and it also has its own library of charts and things built in. We've got the ticker there, the beginning, the end, get symbols ticker from as date beginning, as date end, assign true, which means we assign the actual tickers to the name QQQ. Price equals ticker, which is QQQ. Return XT equals price. Return as numeric. Now we're turning that into its core data to use with, because in R there's a number of time series data formats like XTS and Zoo. This converts it to its core CSV or text data. So we can use it as a hist chart. And there's the hist chart, breaks to 100 labels. The AB line naught, light white, red wine, and the AB line -1, 0.1, top right, 0, line extreme returns. You get the general picture there. It's a good chart. That's extreme outlier on the upside. You can see there's data still out there. It's not what you'd call a good normal fit. It's very leptokurtic, and it doesn't have a big skew. I don't measure skew in this, but it would be interesting. And this is a distribution of GDP fit, is it? No, this is just getting the data again for some reason. Who knows why I did that? Anyway, we'll go on to the next one. Library eVia GDP fit. The General Pareto distribution fit is done with the General Pareto distribution command from eVia. That's the returns we extracted from QQQ above. Threshold was 0.1, method was maximum likelihood. And the summary of the fit is there with all the variables. Losses is minus return, that's the downside. U equals the quantile of losses at 0.9. ME plot mean excess plot losses equals return. And you see the mean excess plot shows the losses. There's one way out at -15 there. And most of them start around the 11 in the thin tail. And around the, whoops, we've gone too far. How do we go back? Let's see here. And around the, about the 8 point mark is where most of the extreme data falls. And you can see the tail doesn't rise a lot, but the data does continue on the upside as well, up out to 0.10. So there is an excess, but not as great as on the downside. Now we can go to the next one. And we're fitting the tail plot here and the quantile function. GDP fit GDP return threshold again, 0.25. TP tail plot GDP fit. GDPQ TP, P equals 0.99. That's probability point, 0.99. And there is the estimates. The estimates are quite low because at the recent period of time at the 95% mark, it's been quite quiet. We've had a lot of losses this year, but they haven't been much beyond the 5% mark as shown by the estimate of 4.7, lower estimate 4.4 and the upper of 503. Now the GTP shortfall at 99 shows that the estimated 95% shortfall is about it's probably about the 4.9% mark, 4.87, whatever. And the higher 99% mark, or is that 95? Looks like 95 again. The higher mark is about, I'd say, 7 or 8. We'll have a look in the next diagram to see. And there the general Pareto distributions fit over the various points of, they seem to fit the 95 line. And that's the 99 data. You can see it's much lower. Anyway, and the lower confidence interval for the 99 point, or the upper 1%, is 0.62, it's higher, 0.68 and 0.8. So that's 0.812. All right, well, that's how it's calculated in the code. I'll stop it here, and I'll do my next video where I look at today's various indexes and highlight the dangers inherent in the market. But this is extreme value theory. Instead, it's an alternative to VAR at 1.65 standard deviations, which is just a statistical measure not based on historical extreme value measures. This is taken from insurance and weather forecasting where they needed accuracy of unknown events. So this measures the likelihood of extremes. Whereas the variance measures the portfolio under risk or the stock under risk, but it doesn't measure the extreme to any great extent. It just measures a statistical measure at, 95 or 99%? This is a 95 or a 99% of the extreme tails, not a normal distribution, but a general Pareto distribution, which is not a normal curve. All right, well, we'll move on. Thanks.